Ever battled with the inconvenience of lack of last mile connectivity? This venture that began in 2016 tackles just this problem. No more hassles of walking the first or last mile when you take public transportation. Ride from anywhere to anywhere without keys or the worry of dropping the bike off at a station. Want to meet the masterminds behind this revolutionary idea? We're giving you a chance to do just that, so watch on.
A small idea born out of the minds of three brilliant Bangaloreans has now become the world's fastest growing bike sharing startup. Today, we are here with Vivekananda Hallekere and Anil G, the co-founders of Bounceshare.
Good afternoon, Vivek and Anil. Thank you for joining us today for this interview. So we'll be going about 12 questions, by the end of which I'm sure our budding entrepreneurs will receive a lot of insights. So let's begin.
Yes. The first question is, take us back to where it all started from.
Our friendship goes back to college days. We studied together, we did our +1, +2 together from Richa College. That's when I met Vivek.
We should sit in the same bench.
Same benches. Varun is the third co-founder. Actually, Vivek and Varun are from Hassan. From Bangalore. Varun is from Hassan and Vivek was Varun because of the same hometown. Idea as such came in because we were as anybody wanted to ride big bikes back then. We always aspired to ride bikes like Harley Stripes, but never had a chance to even touch it or sit on it or take a picture because they were very expensive. The whole idea came with that aspiration, saying, what if we buy a bike, share the EMI amongst friends initially, and then also get a chance to own a bike. And that's how the idea started. And then
Tell them the real story. This is the scripted dancer that he gives. There is more to it.
Then we started with few bikes, and then the business started catching up. We started doing good rentals without much of marketing. Just Facebook is all that we used. Back then we did not have resources to do a large scale marketing, and Facebook is all that we had back then. Just created a Facebook page, send it to friends and family, and that kind of got traction. And that's how it started. And here we are.
So the story is Anil wanted to buy a Royal Enfield. First motorcycle for him. We went to the showroom together, Jen and Anil, and they told us that we have to wait for 12 months. I laughed at him, saying that how can you wait for 12 months to get something, right? I kind of pestered him, and he said no, he really wanted his first motorcycle to be Royal. Then we kind of realized that how passionate people are about motorcycles also, right? Then we figured, so today it's Royal Enfield, tomorrow it might be Harley Davidson or something, right? People have to wait for, one is Royal Enfield booking thing was a thing, but also in life you have to save up a lot of money to do all of this, right? And if you see, everyone has something committed to, right? As in, you have to finish your education, pay your education loan, then probably save some money for your house or wedding or then kids, etc. All that, right? So this becomes a very discretional spend. But motorcycles do bring happiness to people, right? So we thought it's very stupid to own such expensive motorcycles, which will never satisfy you because you always want to go to the next motorcycle, the bigger one. So we thought, worst case, we will try this out where we'll start with one motorcycle. Worst case, we get to enjoy that motorcycle. Three of us share that. And that's how the pilot started. Like Anil said, we started a Facebook page. We realized that this business, while it brings happiness, can't be very large. And we are spending our time building this out. So Funny from Redbus had met us then. He asked us this question saying that, do you guys understand that one day you'll wake up and feel that you'll not build a big business unless that is not what you want? And we said, yeah, we understand, but we've been thinking what to do, etc. That's how, in a way, we got direction towards our mobility business that started off in 2016. So 2 years we had kind of done only luxury motorcycles. Thanks to good folks like Funny who woke us up in a way. We also, while we were thinking, that kind of conversation also helped us to think on what else do we do and how do we make it bigger. That's how the pivot happened to metro bikes and then Bounceshare.
Right. So every successful business definitely has a great team behind it. So would you like to let us in a little bit on your friendship that has proved to be very foundational for Bounce?
Definition of success is very relative, right? And very subjective. But yeah, if you say we're successful, yes, we are. We are happy with what we are building and we've come a long way. So And see, whatever we set out to build, right, in Bounce, basically we allow people to pick up scooter anywhere, drop anywhere. If you've used scooters, you know the kind of struggle that we go through to keep it going, right? Access to mobility is a big thing. Access to mobility is access to livelihood. In a low trust society where people don't believe that this business can do, to do this was a really tough thing, and we have done close to about 30 million plus rides in Bangalore alone, most of it in 2019. So we've come a long way doing that. So for that, again, team, and it's very important for us to be delusional, and probably you can be delusional when you know the other person also well, where you don't have to be worried about it. So I think Varun, Anil and I get along pretty well. So it's easy to scream at each other, easy to understand each other. I think that is what has gotten us here. So yeah, I think we are fortunate. Not every startup will have friends starting it up. It comes with its own set of pros and cons. For us, it worked out well. Yeah, anything you want to add?
And I'll give a comment, but it's important for the team that you have in whatever you're building. It's important that the team believes in whatever you as a group are saying, and you have that camaraderie between each other. Right? You understand all of each other, because each of us has their own pluses, each of us has their own minuses. But together we can compensate for it. How do you understand that and work as a team becomes important. We've been fortunate.
Yeah. So basically, when you say friendship played a role, why friendship plays a role is we are transparent with each other, right? So that's what you have to be with team as well. So if you can be true to your team, be transparent, explain to them why you want to do what you want to do, and get them to work on the mission and vision, then you have a great team to go after whatever you want.
It was very nice to know the history of this fruitful friendship which turned into such a successful business. So moving on, your passion for bikes is well known. What brought the transformation of Wicked Rides from a luxury bike rental company to Bounce, which caters to the everyday man?
Yeah. So like I said, the Wicked Ride business was getting well. We were busy with operations, right? So one day, someone introduced us to Funny from Red Buzz, and he had come out of office, nice guy. He was still talking, and we were talking to him about how we want to build the business. And this is something we knew, but he asking this question also got us to kind of wake up that way. And he said, see, whatever you're building can't become very large, but it's fun, etc. If that is what you want to do, you should continue. But if your dream is to build large businesses, this is not it. Why are you not doing something about smaller schools, which can be used by them? So we had thesis on why it was challenging and etc. That also got us to think on how do we make that work. So it took us a couple of months from there to figure out what we wanted to do. So we were working with government on cycle sharing projects. We knew cycles is something that for whatever reason it won't work in India as a real mode of commute. While cycling is good to solve for millions, we felt that cycle probably will not work for cities like Bangalore, while it will work for tier 2, tier 3 cities, or where the smaller cities with safe cycling paths, etc. It can't be a go-to solution for it. Then we realized that probably Activas or a scooter doing what cycle sharing does in New York makes sense. But even there it comes with docking stations, etc. So we thought if you can remove those docks, allow people to pick up a scooter anywhere and drop it anywhere, like how they use their own two-wheeler through technology, then we thought it's a great business to build. So Varun has a master's in telecommunications, so he understands how to remove the scooter from the key, and he told us that, you know what, scooters can be keyless and we don't have to have docks. We had studied a lot about cycle sharing projects in New York and Washington DC, and we knew what was working, what was not working. So all that learnings, we put it on scooter sharing and remove the docks and said this is what we want to do. That's how the story started.
It's truly revolutionary to take something that someone says, maybe a small thing like you said, was a wake-up call for you. It's inspiring really that we can also take inspiration from small things and really make it into something big like this.
Absolutely.
Okay, tell us, what is your philosophy both in the personal and professional field?
Okay, very difficult question to be honest. Let me start with professional first. Work-wise, I think for us, doing something which is difficult, doing something new which you feel is challenging, which kind of gives you this feeling of doing which others will feel it's impossible and you can do it, and that brings a sense of satisfaction. That's one. Second, whatever you do should also be impactful, right? And each one has their choices. For us, what we do, we have a very strong connect the kind of impact it had. I don't know if like it covers a deep question that you're asking, but largely this is what drives us. Personally, I think hard work to answer. Just enjoy life as it is, right?
Yeah, don't plan too much.
Yeah, don't plan too much.
We are all going to
Just
die.
take whatever comes your way. Just ensure you enjoy it, than cribbing about it or repenting or going back and thinking about it. Just enjoy things as is, because not everything is under your control. But what is under your control is for you to be happy with yourself, and that is largely under your control. So that's largely how I think.
I think work-wise he has covered, I guess. And so 2020 and 2021, I spent a lot of time thinking with the lockdowns and the business going down, things like all of that. A lot of time to think as well. So you'll ask a lot of questions, right? Why are we doing what we're doing? One thing I've at least realized for myself is that, yeah, there's only one life. We're all going to die, and we're all just animals trying to make sense of feeling that, okay, we're doing something. What I feel makes sense for me is that it's very tough to figure out what you really like to do. And if you have figured it, you're lucky. But don't be just happy with that, right? Because there is more of life left, and you have to figure out the true calling. So life is well spent when you keep exploring what you really love to do, and be very conscious about what gives you joy, and that you're doing only for yourself. That is something deep and core only for yourself. It's not for someone else. You're not doing it for your peers. You're not doing it for your parents. We're all forced to do a lot of things for our peers, parents, etc. All that, right? So I did CA only because my family told me that if I do that, I'll settle down. So I did CA then. But fortunately, I've been able to get out of it, right? So now I know, at least I have that luxury and ability to think on what I really want to do. So I think it's important to figure out what gives you true joy, and spending the rest of the life trying to do that, till we die. Yeah.
So rightly said, and I'm pretty sure using these philosophies can take anyone along the way. We know that no road is smooth. So what were your initial struggles, and how are they different from what you face now?
Now we have money. Those days we didn't have money, so it was super challenging, right? As in, you can't do anything without money. I still remember when we wanted to build the first killer system, we didn't have 4 lakhs to build the prototype. So we had to really wait it out. I think we have waited probably almost 6 months or a year to just have enough money to do the prototype. And today it seems very logical to spend 4 lakhs on that, but when we were doing Wicked Right, that was a big sum to invest on an experiment, right? And we were just making enough money to run the team, etc. All that, and almost zero salaries types, all that. But we always had big dreams, etc. So challenges then were very tough. We felt that we have something which can be really big, but we continued doing whatever we could, borrowed money. We did quite a bit of stuff. So challenges then were all money related, which translates to a lot of things, and people not knowing or believing that this can be built as a business. Mm-hmm. And we not coming from pedigree backgrounds, as we're not from IIT or Harvard or whatever, right? So also those challenges, people not having the belief or confidence that the off or the idea will work, etc. All that was the challenge then. Now the challenges are much more solvable. It's a matter of time. As in now the challenges are on how do you hire a great set of people, how do you continue to keep them excited, or how do you solve for economics, or what do you do next in the company, which are again has its own ups and downs or whatever, right? So challenges have become very different now. So anything you want to say?
Lastly, I mean, struggles are something that will be there.
Yeah.
You can't escape out of. You just have to keep persistent.
Yeah.
Keep fighting. There will always be a solution. There is no such problem where there is no solution. You just have to stay at it. Yeah. I'm sure that you'll find a way to get it off, irrespective of which stage you are. Right? So that's something that has worked out for us. Though we had to face a lot of problems, we just kept at it. Right? We knew we'll do something, we'll figure it out, and come out of it. And
persistence for us as college students is something that really strikes a chord. Although just at the college level, we
Which year are you?
we're both in the second year.
So 1 more year to go. Almost done. So we both did BCom, right? Because we are commerce graduates. So never ever feel that commerce graduates can't do something at all.
Yeah.
So we run a large enough tech company. So
The keyless bikes are radical in themselves. So tell us a little bit more about the value of your brand and the uniqueness that it blatantly offers to the customers.
So, what it brings to table is the convenience of your own scooter, but you pay only for the time and distance you use. That is what it brings to table, which means that millions of them. When I was in college, I could not afford to have a motorcycle. We all used to go in BMTC buses. And access to mobility is a big thing, right? As in, access to mobility is access to everyone. So that is what we offer, right? Let's say public transport price. As in, two people sharing a ride, it beats public transport price. As in, it beats public BMTC price. While it's shared, it's good for society because people are not buying their own vehicles. We believe that this is a new age public transport, and this is scalable across India, even for the smallest of the towns. You don't need to build metros, you can have shared vehicles. Shared assets is public transport, right? Anyway. So that is what we have built. We started with gasoline scooters, now we'll go to electric vehicles. We started manufacturing our own electric vehicles, etc. All that. So a lot of work around that, but that is what we have started, which means that we have made mobility accessible to all. And that is the mission, where we believe that if you can make mobility accessible, like a little going back, we believe that there is, in a way, from the time wheel was invented, everybody doesn't have an equal level playing ground, right? And whoever had a chariot could have gone faster, whoever had a horse could go faster, etc. All that, right? So I think, in a way, it should be like extension of your life. Access to mobility should be like extension of your life, and that should not be a deal breaker for you to do anything in your life. That is what we bring to the table. And we'll continue to innovate, right? Today it's on scooters, it was on petrol scooters, now it's on electric scooter. Tomorrow it will be something else, probably personalized jetpack, whatever, right? Whatever makes sense then. So we'll continue to solve for mobility as such, because we think mobility is a 100-year problem. As in, it will continue to go on in a different way, the problem will continue to evolve. Whenever we think that problem is not exciting enough, we'll look for something else. Keyless is an enabler. Yeah, that's what we bring to the table. That is our value proposition. I mean, solve for millions of them in terms of mobility. Today we are still small. We are solving it only. We've done only 30 million plus rides or whatever. India has 200 million plus two-wheelers. So we believe that at least 10% of that should be shared. When the day we can operate about 20 million plus shared vehicles, we feel that okay with them.
That's great. So, timely investments can make or break the business. So, what are your comments on this with regard to the multiple rounds of investment in Bounce?
Last round was 2019 end. Probably the cash came in sometime in December, January. Yeah. So last round was a 100 million round. Now anyone can say that it's a good thing to raise money when you don't need it. So we fortunately had, till the first round it was very tough for us. But after the first round, the traction, whatever we were able to show that we are building, etc. Fundraising is always challenging, but we were able to fairly raise about close to $200 million in 2019 times. Helps in all possible ways. So it's always good to raise money when you don't need it. Because you're not in the pressure. And we are in a business where a lot of investments have to be made in R&D, teams, a lot of things. So money helps.
Definitely agreed with that, especially since we're all from commerce backgrounds.
Yeah,
So I think we innately know the importance of money, especially at the right time. So Zig Ziglar once said, you don't build a business, you build people, and then people build the business. So with this in mind, we'd like to know about the employee relations and work culture at Bounce.
I don't know if any founder will say that the culture is bad in the company or whatever. So, and to be honest, it's you pick any company, right? While you read it on media or whatever you hear, etc. There are always goods and bads that you hear about company. But what we have tried to go for is that people who work here should fundamentally believe in the work that we are doing, right? As in the vision and mission. It becomes easy. I think when you work together as a team, you're basically you have to do right by it because someone else is also giving their time. So that is very important, and that happens only when you're true to the mission and vision, etc. So that is what we have always we've been able to get people who are interested with the problem statement and nothing, that being the criteria. We are good paymasters. We pay well. We take care of our team in terms of ESOPs, etc. And end of the day, we feel that we feel we are all a bunch of people who want to do something meaningful so that there's some sense to our life, etc. All that, right? So that is the kind of culture we've built. You would have known the layoffs that we've done in 2019, so 2020 as such. 2020 was a tough time, so we have spent quite a bit of time hiring the best of the people, convincing them to join us, to work on this, etc. So layoffs were very tough. But one thing that we are very happy is that all of them are placed, they're in good jobs. While operations level was very tough to get in place, etc. Where probably a few of them are still struggling, etc. But most of them we've been able to get in place, etc. And most of them have started on their own. So that is a true testament of the kind of people we have been able to hire and what we've been able to get out of. So at Bounce we encourage people to start on their own and we support them with whatever we can. So I think there are at least 10 startups which have come out of Bounce during the pandemic time, and they're all doing well. They're all well funded. So we're very happy about it.
We have people who were in the operations team, the ground team, who have gone out and opened up their own small restaurant. Two people who have started off companies where VCs have started investing. So that spirit of entrepreneurship is something that is pretty evident in us. And like a company like ours, right, we have different set of people, right? From ground operations to people in the tech team or the management team, etc. What we have consciously done is to understand like what they expect out of being part of the company like Bounce, and for them also to understand what we are trying to do. As long as we do that properly, both of us are open in terms of what each of our expectation is, and align together to whatever the end goal is. Things go well, and that's something that has happened. Like Vivek was telling, the phase of layoff, etc. Though it was quite painful, what was heartening to see for us is all of the team members who got affected were very understanding. Right? They are very kind to us.
They're still part of Bounce.
They're still very much part of what the company stands for, and they're still in very good contact. But they were very understanding. They were very kind to the hard decision that they were making. And this is what, at the end of the day, makes you feel that okay, like you are having a team that truly values what the company stands for, and no individual opinions or aspects matters. So that way we are happy with what we are able to do.
That's nice to hear that even though people were laid off, they went with a lot of things that would help them in the future. So moving on, so the business world is no stranger to merger and acquisitions. So could you walk us through your acquisition of Ofo India in 2018?
So the Ofo India acquisition was more asset acquisition. They had discontinued, they had decided to move on from India, so we just bought their assets. So it's to be honest, it's not a very fancy acquisition, we just bought their assets. Apart from that, what else? Yeah, other than that, we've done a couple of more acquisitions. A few in news, few will come in news, etc. So it's very important to do both organic and inorganic growth, right? So acquisitions are basically inorganic growth for us. So wherever we think it adds value to what we're doing, either in terms of team or in terms of product, we've had an open eye to go out and get into the part of Bounce. So that's the simple.
Makes sense. Okay, with other players emerging in the market, what are your key strengths and weaknesses that place you at your current market position, which of course is very enviable?
Very tough to answer. One, we understand this business well. And, we are a little crazy set of people, so we'll fight well. We'll do whatever it takes to continue to make this accessible. So we think our biggest competition as such is user's own thought of buying his own scooter. As in, if our users think of buying their own scooter, that is our biggest competition. That is what we compete with, right? That is the kind of experience that we want to give them on our scooters. So that is our biggest competition, and that's not an easy one to solve.
So with multiple lockdowns and travel restrictions, a business like yours would be greatly impacted. So how did you handle this kind of trying situation, especially with the layoffs?
It is what it is, right? So as in, the usual breakup kind of thing, right? As in there is rejection, denial, acceptance, depression, then moving on, right? So that's what happens with most of the things which are tough, right? But it was super tough period for us because we were doing really well. We wanted to go acquire some companies in Europe. We had raised large amount of money. 2019 was exciting. We were lots of team trying to do multiple things. Just before the lockdown, we were planning to launch a carpool with it was the interspaced carpool that we wanted to launch. So the teams were set, a lot of teams hired, a lot of that, and we had to cut down, right? We kind of felt that we don't know how long this is going to happen, which means we have to save money. And we have an asset-heavy business, so we have a lot of scooters for which EMIs have to be paid, etc. All that. So how do you suddenly cut costs? It's very tough. So which meant we had to part ways with a lot of people that we had convinced them to join here and were doing really well. So it was super tough for us to first realize on what was that we had to do. Then cut cost, basically, which meant letting go of a fantastic set of people, giving everything to Bounce. Second, sell scooters, which we had not done before. So sold a lot of scooters. I think we sold the highest number of two-wheelers in 2020. As in, we used two-wheelers, probably 17,000 scooters we sold without having a showroom, and during lockdowns, etc. Right? So we're kind of proud of being able to sell so many scooters. We also felt that we should work on the long term and focus on things which will really add value. So that's when we started working on electric vehicles. We accelerated work on electric vehicles, etc. So we've done 10 million kilometers on electric vehicles in Bangalore now. So I don't know when this is going live, but we're getting into electric vehicle manufacturing, and there's more exciting things coming in, which was done during 2020 and 2021. So we're all getting up again now. So that's the climax part of our story, and now there's anti-climax and we're again back type. Yeah.
Right. Congratulations on the foray into electric vehicles, and we're wishing you very best for all that's going to come. Which brings us to the right question now, that is, what is in store for Bounce in the future?
Depends on the time frame. Like I said, we'll build whatever we think works for making mobility accessible and affordable, etc. So today we think electric vehicles in a way are the right thing to do. We have very good understanding of electric vehicles, etc. So we're getting into manufacturing now. So it's quite a bit of work around that. Apart from this, go to more cities, enable more and more people to move from point to point. We'll come up with much more unique models where we'll redefine ownership in a way. So there'll be more hybrid ways of ownerships, etc. that we'll be working on. That's for now. Anything else you want to talk about?
As the near-term focus is first will be on EV. Everything around it, right from moving our fleet to EV, which is the mobility business, to getting into manufacturing in EV, and building the necessary infrastructure that is required to support which is battery swapping stations, networks, etc. So these are the things that we are working on, which you guys will see very soon. Plan is to do this in India as well as outside India. We strongly believe that India will be the country where adoption to EV will be at a very rapid scale, and the sheer volume will be much higher than what you might see outside. We are also thinking of innovative way of electrifying. See if we can move people from EV to EV from IC by retrofitting their existing scooters. And that's something that we are actually working on. That should again help a large number of two-wheelers that are already on the ground to easily move to EV without spending too much money. So these are our plans for the coming few years. Like Vivek said, this is what we want to do right now to solve the problem of mobility, but as we evolve, the problems might be different and the solutions might be different. As a company, we will keep coming up with new solutions.
Right. So we hope that all these plans are successful and soon we will be seeing it. So finally, what advice would you give young budding entrepreneurs? We could take some inspiration from that aspects.
What do you want to hear? So a lot of things, right? As in, since you're in college, tried a lot of things. Don't be scared. The first startup may not work, but the experience it gives you will be super immense. So never be scared to start up something. Don't listen to peers. Don't listen to a lot of people who tell you why you should not be doing this. There is no concept of settling down in life. So if you have enough money to take care of your food, shelter for your family, etc., you should venture out into things which you like. One of them being starting up, because you can always go back and get a job. But if you start this journey of trying yourself, the experience you get is massive. So pick a problem that you are crazy about, or which you think, and the problem might keep changing, right? For you, as in today, you might feel solving for hunger is something important. Probably tomorrow it's something else. But go after problem statements. Don't do it because someone is raising money or some market is hot. Focus on problems which you think where you can add value. If you talk to peers, always get a lot of views, but end of the day you decide. And there'll always be a lot of naysayers, so it's okay. You will only lose time. You won't lose anything. So go ahead and build things that you want to build, and rest will follow. Like Karan said, things will happen. Yeah.
From my side, I think generally when you think about entrepreneurship, to take that first step is where most of us, fail and then carry on with life, doing something else.
And society has built it in such a way that they make you comfortable so that you don't quit, right? As in, they pay you good salaries. You start overspending and you're committed to a particular lifestyle. You don't want to take a cut now. So that's why I said when you're going out of college, it's easy to do because you're not used to still a lifestyle that which is pampered you and spoiled you, right? So it's easy to take bets early in life. But it gets tougher. It's not impossible later, but it just gets tougher. Right?
So the sooner you make that decision, the better it is. It's okay to fail. It's absolutely fine to fail. And it's not like all of us have succeeded from day one. And failure also has a lot of learnings.
Failure has a lot of learnings.
Success doesn't have, because you don't know what is giving you that success because the kind of period which you're growing, you really don't know what is contributing. When it's a failure, you start thinking about what happened. And there are so many learnings that will only make you stronger. Right? So it's absolutely fine to fail. But it's important for you to take that first step and start what you want. Right? Many of us back off at that stage. That's something that you guys, the sooner you do it, the better it is, because like Vivek told, the later in life you'll be tied up with a lot of commitments, which will make it even harder for you to make that decision. So my advice is for you to start off as soon as possible. It's okay to
Experiment.
Learn from it, and keep at it. Right? So that's what I would say.
So we've come to the end of this interview. So thank you so much for joining us and providing valuable insights and giving us a little bit into the history, the current status and the future of the company. So
Thank you.
All the best.